We know the season is just underway, but it's our job to keep an eye on the business of baseball. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. signing his extension this week changes the equation for next year's free agent class. In terms of team building and roster construction, this is something to be aware of. In the background, to be sure, but still there. Because next year's free agent class is a very different class with a lot of depth. Let's do a little digging in. Again, Vladimir Guerrero is now off the board. That's a $500 million player. But there are some big-time free agents still readying for the market. The number one player, position player, was and is Kyle Tucker, now with the Cubs. A 5-win player in his pre-prime. He could be going next level. He slugged .585 in a half season last year and is right now the National League leader in OPS plus hits, homers, and total bases. A full season at this new level vaults him into a whole new category. The next level superstar on the free agent class. Bo Bichette. Stock is low right now, right? After his first bad season. His first 5 years, though, this is a shortstop who hit .299 and slugged .487. He'll also be age 28 season next year. Young-ish, shortstop, that's the way to go in the free agent market. But he needs a bounce-back year, admittedly. Most interesting position player on the market, Kyle Schwarber. He's going to be in his age 33 season next year, but this is an impact bat and a player to love. Older, also a DH, but he could get a big AAV. Here are the best of the position players now. Tucker, Bichette, Schwarber, his teammate JT Realmuto. That's another great player, but he's a catcher, age 35 next year. That's kind of old. Marcell Ozuna has had good back-to-back seasons at the plate, and it's a decent first base market. Luis Arraez, top contact hitter in the game. Josh Naylor, now with Arizona. Paul Goldschmidt will be back on the market. These are the top position players. From there, you have possible opt-outs, and that's a whole other ballgame. Possibly, I'm saying possibly, we could see Alex Bregman, Pete Alonso, Cody Bellinger, and Jock Peterson all back on the market. Now, some of them have, most of them actually, have pretty good AAVs, average annual value. That could keep them in place, but that's another show. All in all, an interesting market for position players. I like it. Not a blockbuster, but it's deep. What's also fascinating is the depth that will be in the starting pitcher market. The depth of the entire position, on the whole, is in decline, clearly, but somehow there's a good deal of talent at all levels. That will be hitting the market next year. Top of the food chain, 2 San Diego Padres, Michael King, Dylan Cease. King off a stellar first year as a starter. Cease was sensational back in 2022. Both high-ceiling pitchers. The market, though, likes certainty, and for that, it will have Framber Valdez of the Astros. Last 3 years, averaging 192 innings with a 3.063 ERA. That's a 1.30 ERA plus. Age 32 season coming up for Valdez. Not young, but quite a track record. Here's the top end then. Starting pitchers. King, Cease, Valdez, Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly of the Diamondbacks. Chris Bassett is off to a great start. He's going to be age 37, but off to a great start this year. You see the age seasons that they'll be hitting first year in free agency, the first year they'll be playing for their new teams. Also, Ranger Suarez, Nick Martinez, 35, but useful in and out of the pen as well. And I know it's diminishing returns, right? They're in their 40s. Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander, future Hall of Famers, they'll also be back on the market. So, starting pitcher class. Does it have a superstar? Not really, but that's a lot of B+, A- for starting pitchers. It's deep. Not only that, the relief pitcher market will be robust. Relievers are volatile. Talent level fluctuates year to year. This coming off season, we're talking high end. Devin Williams, Ryan Helsley, Kirby Yates. Those 3 have been premier run preventers. Then from there, Raciel Iglesias, Robert Suarez could opt out. Look at the ERAs, the basic run prevention, outstanding. Also, Kenley Jansen, Luke Weaver of the Yankees, Michael Kopech now with the Dodgers, could all be out there on the open market. Again, high end and deep. So the last few years, we've had Judge, Ohtani, Soto. This coming season has real depth and a chance for clubs to build with multiple free agents. I'd like to go shopping this offseason. It's interesting. I want to know what you think on X at MLB Now. Who is the free agent that you would target on next year's market? I'm not just asking who's the best. That's probably Kyle Tucker, right? I mentioned that. But the one to go after, have dinner with Thanksgiving weekend, meet the parents, take the wife out to dinner, make sure, I can imagine Theo going to see the Shillings out in Arizona about 20 years ago.
Thanksgiving.
Meet for Thanksgiving. Here we are. All right, we're in this together. Good. Yonder Alonso is here. Chris Young as well. Impressive. He was just on the previous show. He had a whole different wardrobe.
Quick.
Hey, you know how to change to your environment.
You got to make it happen.
That's outstanding.
That's a center fielder for you. Same color concept, though.
I wasn't thinking, let me talk free agents next year, but once I started looking at it, I got psyched. And as I said, if I'm a general manager, I would like to go shopping this year, wouldn't you?
The menu is full.
Yeah.
Right? You can go get anybody you want, essentially, right? I like the players that they have. I also like the players that have the options to go into free agents, and a guy like Pete Alonso, for example. But I think for me, it's a guy like Framber Valdez. I think when you look at the guys that are out available, you want starting pitching, and starting pitching is thin. Starting pitching with executions in the postseason, the way they've been able to pitch, consistency, a guy who's going to give you a lot of starts, a guy who's going to pound the zone, he's going to give you length. I like a guy like Framber Valdez. It reminds me a lot of Max Fried. When you look at him, yes, he is a year older, but hey, 6 years, 180, why not? I think it makes sense, 30 a year. That's a guy that I would definitely go after. Look, you can always
already making an offer, 6 for 180. Okay, you got numbers in mind.
You can always find guys out of the bullpen during the trades, during free agency. You can go get a big bat if need be. But starting pitching, nobody's going to give that up.
See, that's what interests me. And maybe I was overselling it when I first saw it, but I saw so many, again, B+, A- guys, the upside guys. Again, Valdez is the most consistent, but I saw a lot of guys that you're saying, if you can get the right price range, it could be fascinating.
Yeah, I'm thinking more A- than B+, or maybe even A's. I mean, when I'm looking at a list of free agents when you had your open right there, first thing I underlined, Dylan Cease and Michael King. One thing, Padres need to win this year because you're losing these guys right here. But that's two premier arms that I would love to try to get if I could possibly. Cease was in the trade rumors all season last year and in the offseason. So we're curious to see what happens there. But I'm also on the position player side, BK, curious to see who's still available when this offseason comes around. After seeing the Vladdy deal done, I understand he's the hometown guy with Toronto. But if I'm the Chicago Cubs, I'm not letting Kyle Tucker get the free agency. I'm at least try to make an offer to see, can I go ahead and retain Kyle Tucker right now? From the outside looking in, it seems like the Cubs have the flexibility to go out there and get a player the magnitude of Kyle Tucker. You know they went after Alex Bregman last offseason, so why couldn't you go and potentially try to get a Kyle Tucker? It all depends on what that number has turned into after that Vladdy deal. Is Kyle Tucker now a $500 million player? And that's the question that I don't know the answer.
I think it hasn't settled yet. Like, it's so volatile. If Tucker, again, this is asking a lot, but if Tucker is where he is now in September, basically the best hitter in the National League, he's changed his whole price point, right?
Well,
whereas now it's vastly different because he hasn't had that one breakout full season yet. You know what I mean? He's been a 5-win player, but he hasn't been a 7 or 9-win player.
You know what?
And he might be that player.
I'm with you, BK, but he does everything well, and it's a valuable player. I mean, he's the ultimate 5-2 player. He's the guy that you want. He can steal bases, and I don't pay as much for stolen bases anymore because you just don't know.
But he's not Mookie Betts. As much as I love the guy, I know.
I mean, we even saw Trey Turner, who was an elite stolen base guy, who we don't see him steal the base anymore. But I still believe he's that 30-homer guy, consistent year in and year out, and he's going to play you amazing defense.
I'm talking to Kyle Schwarber, is what I'm saying.
I'm talking to him as well. I'm with you on that.
And people are low on Bo Bichette right now. And
that's the right time to get him.
Right, I got a feeling, the stock is going to rise. All right.